Hayes, Mike Ditka at the Chicago Bears, Lindy Infante with the Indianapolis Colts, Ted Marchibroda, Mike Riley, just a list of great coaches that I was able to play for. And I've always said this, that you can learn a lot from great leadership. You know, you can also learn sometimes even more from bad leadership on what not to do. But I was always blessed with great leadership, great coaches, and that's probably made me the player I was. I was kind of a mediocre player, but I had great teachers and great coaches. And the all-time best coach that I ever had is my dad, Jack Harbaugh. Yes, it's Father's Day. Let me tell a quick story about my dad. Truly one of the all-time great coaches. They did not recognize as one of the all-time great coaches, but he is one of the all-time greatest coaches. I'm half the coach he is, but I'm really trying hard. He had this slogan when we were kids called, "Who's got it better than us?" And as soon as he would say that to us kids, we would all say, "Nobody!" No matter where we were, who's got it better than us? Nobody, Dad, nobody. It's just a bunch of little, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10-year-olds running around saying that. And no matter what it was, he would just make it seem like nobody could possibly have it better than you kids. My brother John, who I shared a room with until I was 16 years old, and he went off to college. We lived in a small house in Iowa City, and he would come into our room and he'd say, "Look at you two guys. You got each other. You're best friends. You can share each other's dreams. You can talk football with each other. Nobody could possibly have it better than you two. Who's got it better than you? Nobody, Dad, nobody." I was 6, my brother was 8. And then my dad was a coach for 42 years. Started out as a high school coach at Canton McKinley High School and various high schools. Then he became a college assistant coach. And as we grew up, then we were coaches' kids. And my dad never made a lot of money. And if we had a car, it was because we had a dealer car. Lifeblood of a lot of football programs are, car dealers. They do so much for college football. Coaches can recruit. Families have a vehicle. And that was our only car we had, as if we had a dealer car. Some dealer out there, we were blessed enough that they would give us a car and a loan. And then sometimes we wouldn't have a car, and we'd walk out of the house, and someday there'd be a car out there. And we would get a ride to school. My dad would pull up, drop us off, and say, "Okay, you two, grab your lunch boxes and go attack this day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind." "Okay, Dad." And don't take any, and he'd always say this, and the other thing he would say is, "Don't take any wooden nickels." Off to school we would go. But there were some days where there was no car out there, and "Dad, where's the car?" "No car today, man. We're walking." "Okay, Jim, you grab a basketball. John, you grab a basketball. I want 100 with the right and 100 with the left, and we're going to school. Who could possibly have it better than you two?" "Nobody, Dad, nobody." One of the funny things about it is, we grew up thinking nobody can have it better than us two guys. And I was, first year I'm coaching with the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going out to look at a quarterback in Iowa City. I gotta go work him out. So I go work him out at the college. And then I get some time here. I'll have to get the rental car back. And I can get to the airport and still make my flight. So I decided to go by 825 Tolleran Court and see my old house. Look at the old tree fort that we put up in the backyard and see the neighborhood. So I drive over there, I stand out in front of my house, and I took a picture of it. It is the smallest house that is a house. Picture the smallest house. It's a single family house, and that was this house. It had 2 bedrooms, and we had 3 kids. My sister slept with my mom and dad. Me and my brother had our own room. There was a kitchen and not a living room or a dining room, but just a room. And that was our house, you know. So I was like, and it just clicked back in my mind. We thought we had it better than anybody in the entire world. Well, that man is one heck of a coach. And I'll be finished. I don't want to bore you or anything, but you know, the thing that always rings in my mind, and I've taken this into coaching with me, you know, at different spots, USD or Stanford or the 49ers. I did it when I was a player. It's like, you know, it's the things you think you don't have that somebody else has that really in the long run makes you better for it, because you got to overcome something. And as a kid, I wanted to be a professional athlete. I wanted to be a major league shortstop. That was my dream as a kid. And all I did was play sports, climb trees. I must have got 3 million reps just on sports, because that's all I did was playing all the time as a kid. Now my dream of being a major league shortstop, you know, didn't come to be a realization. But I was a lot better than all the other kids, because that's all I did. I just practiced all the time. And what I realized when I got old enough was that, you know, the reason I didn't, because I had a glove, I had fields, I was on little league teams, but I never stood a chance of being a major league shortstop, because there was kids down in the Dominican Republic who their gloves were milk cartons. You know, they didn't have any fields. Those fields were with rocks and bad hops all the time. And, you know, they got really good. They got a heck of a lot better than I could have ever gotten. And it ended up that they had a heck of a lot better than I did, you know? So we tried to make things, kind of do things the hard way sometimes, you know? It makes you better. And that's, now that I'm 50 years old, I realize that's what my dad was saying the whole time. Who's got it better than us? You know, nobody. That's awesome.
In addition to your dad and the other head coaches that you had over the years, you know, like I said, there were certain things that those guys hung their hats on, and was there common threads between all those people? Your dad, Coach Schembeckler, Coach Ditka, some of the other guys you mentioned, were there common threads of, you know, as a coach, you look and see, like, what do people do that are the best? And what is the common thread between all those people? What were those common threads between the coaches that you had that made you a great player, that allowed them to be great coaches?
I think number one, they love what they did, and therefore that allowed them to work harder than others. I mean, if you don't love what you do, then somebody is eventually going to outwork you at that job. And then they were the kind of leaders that were the great leaders because they set the example. And I learned that. I mean, if you want your team to work hard, then, you know, you're the leader, be the hardest worker. You want your team to be disciplined, you want them to sacrifice, then you be disciplined and you sacrifice. So it really, the tone is set there, you know, by the leader. If you have a lazy leader, you're going to have a lazy team. You know, you have somebody that doesn't love it, doesn't care about it. You know, then you're going to have your team that follows that. So blessed in that way that they always, those men always set the example.
Coach, a lot of these people know you were a great athlete before you ever became a great coach.
Could you spread the word on that, please? And try not to keep that to yourself, so you can kind of get that out there. It's very mediocre.
Well, you played at a pretty high level, Coach, and you've done some pretty unbelievable things as a player. And so just wanted to pick your brain a little bit in terms of, as a player, going from the Pop Warner ranks to the college ranks and to the NFL ranks. What's different from a player's perspective in terms of the interaction with their coach when they go to those different levels? And in addition to playing at all those levels, you've also coached at all those levels. So being on both sides of that thing, it'd be interesting to hear kind of your perspective on that.
Well, that's interesting. It's more the same than it is different from Pop Warner to high school to college to pro as a player. All very similar to me when I look back on it. And as far as coaching, same thing. Very similar. Whether I was coaching with the Oakland Raiders or USD Toreros or Stanford or with the 49ers, it's more similar than it is any different. As a player, I really, I just loved it. I loved football. I loved it since I was, really loved it when I was 9. And I loved it before because my dad was a coach. I just loved watching football. But then I started playing football at age 9. And Brad Muster and I were talking a little bit about the nutcracker drill. Everybody knows what that is, right? Yeah.
No. I think we need to show them.
Okay. Can I tell a quick story? One more quick story. This will be a quick story. But everybody who's ever played football knows the nutcracker drill, right? Is there any other name for it? Who knows what that drill is? Okay, here's the drill. You set up 2 dummies, about 5 yards apart, and there's a line that's running the ball, and then there's a line that's tackling. And Oklahoma drill is another common name for that drill. Well, 9 years old, in 1973, I find myself playing for the Ann Arbor Junior Packers. And it's the 3rd day. They had just given out the equipment, helmets, the shoulder pads, pants. Taught us how to put the pads in the pants. And some guys had the thigh pad, the big part sticking down, and some had the. It was just a collection of guys. We're out there the first time in our uniforms, and they teach us how to tackle. And it was get into a good football position, shoulders over hips, over knees, ankles and knees, and the power-producing ankles. Shoot your hands when you tackle, see what you hit, and then wrap up. All those coaching points were given to us on that first day, and then they say, okay, we're going to tackle. And lined up the runners, lined up the tacklers. I found myself in the tackling line, and I was 7th in the line. And what does everybody do when they find themselves 7th in the tackling line? You got it, you count, you got it over there, and everybody else got it, because that's the very first thing you do, is you start counting to see who's in the running line to see you got a tackle. And on that day, I started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ralph? Oh, shoot. Dear Lord, when I recount this, please do not let Ralph be the 7th man in the tackling line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ralph. He's the kind of guy, we were 9, he was 9, but he looked like, we were like 5'6", he was 5'11", 164 pounds. He already had a full beard. Most of us had 2 eyebrows, he had 1. Just call that the monobrow. So I said, I know what I'm going to do now. I know what I'll do. I'll just tell the coach that I'm going to quit. I don't have to be here in this tackle. I'll quit right now. And then it hit me that my dad had told me that we were at the JC Penney buying me my $13 cleats, and he would buy them for me, but there was no way that I could quit until the season was over. And if he saw me coming back up Anderson Street before practice was over, he was going to kick my ass. And I knew he'd do it. Brad's met him. Brad Mustard's met him. He would do it. So I knew that was out. I couldn't quit. So the next thing I went to was, I will just tell him that I can't go today. I got a stomachache. And to be quite honest with you, Coach, my stomach it was aching. So I was going to go with that until the guy right before me tried the exact same thing, and coach told him to get his butt back in there. So, make a long story short, I'm in the tackling line, and I'm staring at Ralph, and he's got this white foam coming out of the corner of his mouth, and his snot bubbles are blowing out of his nose. He's like a bull getting ready to charge at me. And I said, Jesse, get a football position. Shoulders over, hips over, knees over, ankles, power producing angles. Throw everything you have into him. Keep your eyes open and hold on. And a whistle blew and he came at me and I went at him and I threw everything I had into him. And the next thing I felt was a knee come driving through my stomach. And the next thing is my head hit the back of the ground. And then he just started dragging me. And true story. I don't know if he got tired or if he stepped in a hole, or fell down, or I tackled him, but eventually he went down, and I realized I had made my first tackle. And before, I made the tackle. Check body parts, see if everything. So I'm kind of checking to see if anything was broken, and I opened my eyes. Again, true story, and I was blind. I could not see, and I remember laying there thinking, okay, this is how it ends right here. You're blind. And then I saw a light. And I was just staring at the light, and I'm looking at it. I said, "You're not blind. You're just looking out of the side of your helmet." So I jumped up, ran over to the side of the guys, and they're high-fiving me and telling me what a great job I did. I made the tackle, and from then on, I was just ate up with football. Loved football ever since that day.
That's a great story, Coach. Okay, question for you now. That was awesome. Chris Farley up there. Remember that time? That was awesome. Exactly. So, Coach, you've coached at a lot of different levels and a lot of different places, and from my perspective, your teams have always overachieved. You've taken a group of guys that maybe were average performers before you got there, and then shortly after you got there, they were able to do much better, and in a lot of cases, achieve greatness. What is it that you do that allows people to, or gives people that idea that they want to buy into you and to your program and to overachieve for you? Is it the individuals? Is it something you do? Is it a combination of both? Would love to hear your perspective on that a little bit.
Well, that's a real tough one, and I'm always kind of going into this with one basic premise, like as a coach, like we're going to USD, okay? We're not very good, we gotta get better. We're going to Stanford, we're not very good, we gotta get better. Okay, how do you get a football team to be better? You get better players. And you get better players. That's how you make a football team better. And there's two ways of doing that. You recruit them in college, or you draft them in the NFL. But you also take the ones you do have and coach them up to be better. And I tell the players the same exact thing. I mean, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the players we got, and we're gonna recruit them. We're gonna train them. We're gonna coach them, teach them, and we're gonna make you so good that there is nobody that we could possibly bring in that is gonna be able to be better than you or gonna be able to beat you out. And I also want you to know that at the exact same time we're doing that, we're going to be over here recruiting players that we think can come in and beat you out. And then we're going to coach you up to be so good that they can't beat you out, but then we're going to see if they can't beat you out. And it's a competition. It's a competitive not self-centered competitive, never that, but competitive and not self-centered. And then just the idea that, we want to be great. We want to be great at what we're doing. Remarkable is what we want to be. We want people to remark about, talk about what we do, and they'll remark about it. And there's a lot of, that's an attitude. It's not. A lot of people call it changing the culture, but it's an attitude. And our attitude is we're going to be great. Quick story for you. This is one my dad always told me growing up. Some kids got bedtime stories. I got my dad's stories, And he said that there was 2,000 years ago or so. There's a man walking down a cobblestone street, and he comes across somebody that's working at a lathe, pumping the thing. He's lathing stone. He's a stone cutter. And man walks up to him and says, "What are you doing there?" He said, "I'm cutting stone. What does it look like I'm doing?" And he goes, "Okay." Walks down another couple blocks, comes across a man, doing the same exact thing. He's got soot all over his face from the stone that he's cutting. He says, "Excuse me, sir, what are you doing there?" So let me tell you what I'm doing. I'm part of a team. I'm part of a team that's building a great cathedral. And I'm cutting this stone right here. And the stone that I'm cutting is going to be the cornerstone of this great cathedral. That's what I'm doing. Now that's attitude. That's the kind of attitude we're looking for. We're looking for who's ever doing their job, who's ever got a job, who's ever got an assignment. There's no small people. Everybody doing a job. Everybody's accountable for that job. But everybody's trying to make that job great. Whether it's Alonzo in security, or me coaching, or trainer, equipment manager, player. You are doing that job because you want to make it great. Because we want to, together, we want to do something amazing. We want to build a cathedral, something grand, something that people are going to talk about and remark about. That's what we're trying to get accomplished. Not a system where people get promoted into a job where they eventually are promoted into something where they're incompetent. Because that happens in a lot of areas. You promote them until they finally hit a job where they're incompetent at. No, everybody's accountable, and everybody is trying to do something great. And all you got to do something great is make it better. Just make it better. It's going to be better today than it was yesterday. Better tomorrow than it was today. Improvement will lead to success. That is our theory. It's simple.
Yes.
So simple that it just might work. But that's what we try to do. And coach, it's and you asked me about motivation a little bit earlier too, and I just find it everywhere. I find it everywhere with the people that I work with the players I have on the 49ers. Found it that way with Brad when we played together at the Chicago Bears. Him and Anquan Bolden are two guys that are very much alike, and they're alike in the way that they're just serious about being good and serious about winning, to the point that, like Anquan does now, Brad was this way on our team. He would go to work, kick ass, and then go home. And we'd come back to work, kick ass the next day, and then come home. And we used to try to get Brad to go out with us and hang out with the guys. And going home. Got Picky and Kelly there, and I'm going home. And that's the way Anquan Bolden is. And you can draw inspiration. All you got to do is see somebody else that's doing it and doing it right, and say, I'm going to be like that. I'm going to do it that way. Or inspiration from somebody else's work ethic or somebody else's attitude. But you're literally showered with great examples every single day in any organization that you're in. And I want to tell you this. Your son Nathan, I got the inspiration from him tonight. I mean, that's a warrior. That's a tough little guy right there. I want to have that attitude. I want to have that positivity in my life.
want to be like that guy. Me too.
Say, Nate. What's up, Nate? Thumbs up. Coach, thank you for that. He is my inspiration every day, and he's pretty incredible little dude. He's an example. I mean, that is a guy. I get on my own tangent here because you're the guy people here came to see, but that guy's an inspiration to anybody that meets him. And if you haven't met him yet, meet him. He's pretty cool little dude. Shifting gears, I want to get all sentimental on you guys here. Yeah, but I have a question for you, Coach. From my perspective, you've been a head coach at a lot of different levels. You've been around great coaches. We've established that already. You as the head coach preparing for a game, it's different than preparing as a quarterback of the game. You have a little bit different things to think about. You've got a bigger perspective to think about. What are the things that you really feel are most important in regards to your preparation to properly manage or effectively manage a game at the level you're at? And has that changed from USD to Stanford to the 49ers?
No, it hasn't changed. It's exactly the same in that I always take the approach that it's 1,000 little things. It's 1,000 little things that we'll be champion. We've done 1,000 different things right, or made 1,000 little things better. And it's a lot of times people are going, that's insignificant, or that's the minutia, or that doesn't mean much. But it's those 1,000 little things added up all together that make all the difference. And so it's just constantly, and it's not hard to do. It's real easy to do. It's like, okay, I know something's happening, something we can look at, something we can fix, or not. Something could be good already. And let's leave that the same. But I mean, does this help us win? Does this make us a better team? Does this help the individual be a better player? If it does, we do it. If it doesn't, we don't. It's a simple job in that way. My only agenda is, does it help us win? Does it help us make us a better team? Does it help this young man be a better person, better player? If it does, we do it. And if it doesn't, we don't. With the attitude of we can fix anything. If we can't fix it, then it's not broke. You like that? I like that. We're the San Francisco 49ers. We can do whatever we want to do. That's our attitude. And get enough people that want to be great, want to work hard at it, and we'll get anything done. Anything we set our minds to. I don't know if I didn't answer your question though, did I?
No, that was great.
What was your first question?
Is there?
Oh yeah, so that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing all the time. Leading up to a game, right before a game. Start of the week. We just played a game. We won. Feel great, like you contributed to the winning. Can't wait to get back on Monday and do it again. We lose a game. I can't wait to get back started on Monday to make darn sure that never happens again. It's that you're always looking at what are we doing, how are we doing it, can we do it better, and we'll take risks. But as long as that risk isn't terminal, as long as that risk isn't going to shoot us in the foot, then we do it. So I always kind of go into situations going, what's the worst possible thing that can happen? Let's make darn sure that doesn't happen. And then what's the next worst thing that can happen? What's the next worst thing that can happen? What's the next worst thing that can happen? Let's eliminate those things happening. And that's kind of just how I'm always looking at things. Like going into a bar. I mean, I'm gonna walk into this bar. What's the worst thing that could possibly happen to me? That's not how I can't make. I tick down this list so far that it's like, what the hell are you going? There's no possible way you should be even going into a bar. So I never go into a bar. In fact, I don't walk along the same side of a street as a bar. Because there's just too much bad that can happen. I'm going to make darn sure that doesn't happen. So, I don't know, I kind of look at going into a football game the same way, in all the ways that you would look at going into a football game, like night before a game. I sleep like a baby. I wake up every hour crying. During the game, it's like, hey, coach, you having fun? No, I'm not having fun. I feel like I'm in a dentist chair getting root canal done on me for 3.5 hours, But we win that game. There's nobody happier than me. But you're just always thinking, what can you do?
Thank you, Coach. At this time, I would like to see if there's anybody out there in the audience. Mr. Stimmel here, we've got some hands raised up here. We have some other microphones so everybody can hear the question. So I'm going to ask a couple of my players, Dominic and Stefan, come on up here real quick. So we'll go right over here to Mr. Stimmel.
Coach, when you were at Stanford, you got to spend the last few years of Coach Walsh's life and talking football and, all from his whole, past coaching and everything. What was that relationship like?
Well, I got to spend, from the time I was hired to the time Coach passed away was 8 full months. And he passed away in July '07, my first year there. But in that time, we had several times where we went to lunch, several times where I would just go in his office and just sit there. He'd be talking to a former player of his that was coming to visit him, or he was doing a phone interview. And I just asked him, can I just sit here? And I would just sit there for like 2 hours and just listen to him talk. And then he would take me to the creamery, which is in Palo Alto. It's where he liked to eat. And we would go there, and we'd sit and talk, and I'd take notes. Then I had this little tape recorder that I would, kind of put up there, and just amazing things would come out of his mouth and his head, and I did a lot of them. I did so many of them. I mean, just flat out just copied them. I'm not embarrassed to say that at all. Not at all. And then there was times I would ask him things. It was just so unique about him was that I would say, well, how do you think I should do this, Coach? And he said, well, I don't know. I don't know. You know better than I do, Jim. No, I don't. I don't know better than you. But he was, he was very humble, very humble, and he would always ask kind of a question back, or then he'd kind of help me along if I was stuck, but he wouldn't always tell me what to do, and not in a way like some people do, like where they ask you questions and kind of to make you feel like you're smaller or inferior, but he actually made it sound like he doesn't know, and he's not really capable of knowing that, but all the while knowing it and getting you to where you should be thinking in a way that you thought it was your idea. It was just an amazing time, because he called me and asked me if I'd be interested in interviewing for the job, and then when we did the interview, he said he would just be sitting there, and athletic director and some other people would be answering the questions, and then he asked 90% of the questions. Just an amazing man, but very smart, very cerebral, very caring person, and it took me back. Just being with him for that 8 months, I guess. I mean, really, just it took me back to this that. As a player, your favorite coach, who's your favorite coach? Maybe I'm not gonna ask you guys this thing. Put you on the spot. But who's your favorite coach? It's always the same. It's always the coach that likes you. It's always the coach that believes in you and teaches you. And that's always who your favorite coach is. Somebody that believed in you. And I kind of felt that again with Coach Walsh through those 8 months. He really believes in me. And then it gives you a chance to believe in yourself. And it's so important. We were talking earlier, and the one thing you can give as a coach is you can believe in the player and give him a chance to therefore believe in himself. Because if you don't believe in him, or nobody believes in him, he's not going to believe in himself. There's got to be someone. There's got to be someone, whether it's a parent, a grandparent, an uncle, a coach, a teacher. Somebody has got to believe in that youngster for them to have a chance. If they don't have that, they're inevitably not going to believe in themselves. And and then you can be that person. Then I can be that person as a coach. I can believe in somebody, and give them. I can be somebody's favorite coach someday. That's a powerful thing. Or just as a parent, as a father, I can believe in my kids. I can believe in them. I can be an uncle that believes in my niece or my nephew. It's a powerful thing that and then it's that person that believes in you that really doesn't want anything from you other than for you to be successful, to you to have success and reach your full potential. But that's a powerful gift. That's a great gift, and we all got it. As we all sit here in this audience, I see kind of heads kind of nodding up and down. You remember that. You remember your favorite coach. You remember your favorite teacher. You remember that relative or parent that believed in you, or grandparent, and then you got the opportunity now to do that for somebody else. You got a chance to be that uncle. My Uncle Jim and my Aunt Fran are sitting out here in the audience tonight, and from the time I played, and the two of them could not be more supportive. And then they're the kind of people that they never wanted anything, other than for me to be successful. And that is the genuine, that is the true love that you got a chance to give to somebody else. And we all have that opportunity in our lives. Can we be better at it? Can we do a better job? Can we be better today than we were yesterday? Can we be better tomorrow than we were today? Heck yeah, we got a heck of an opportunity to do that. And that's something that, as you asked that question, reminded me. That's the kind of guy Bill Walsh was. That was his true genius. He had the ability to believe in people.
As a lifelong 49er fan, thank you very much for restoring the pride in the Niners that we had in the 80s. Making us proud to be Niners.
A lot of good players, believe me. Good players.
A lot of good coaching. You talked about your dad being pretty much your major influence. Is there anybody outside of sports or outside of football that you draw on for inspiration or knowledge that you've studied that you use in your program?
Yes, in terms of coaches, Bo Schembechler, Woody Hayes. I met Woody Hayes one time, but I'm well read on Woody Hayes. I read many books about him. Bear Bryant is another person I've read a lot of books. But when it comes to like who your mentors are, who the people you get information, motivation from, to me it's always, and it needs to be, and it better be, your staff, your current staff. For me, that's who it is. I mean, those are the guys I'm going. They say, who's your mentor, Jim? I mean, it's Vic Fangio, it's Brad Steele, it's Greg Roman, it's people in my organization that I am going to them, to get information from and get ideas and hear what they think about. Because it's a team, and it's that. But yeah, there's always people that I get inspiration from, and like I said tonight, it showers you. It's around you all the time.
Coach, you were on ESPN. It's a coach's football life this week. Actually, it wasn't really you. It was
Coach Ditka.
It was about Mike Ditka.
Yeah.
It was about his coaching career, and it showed a highlight that you were in it, and evidently you were in New Orleans, and he told you not to do an audible. You did an audible because nobody could hear it. It was intercepted. The guy ran it back, and it looked like the tackle you were just describing that you were trying to make on this guy that came in and scored from New Orleans. But the highlight was the sideline coach. It said the sideline conversation. This is one of the most interesting conversations in NFL history between a coach and a player, where Ditka was breaking the clipboard and throwing his glasses and his gum. Would you share with us what that conversation was like?
Yeah, it was an all one-way conversation. You could not characterize that as a conversation. Conversation would be two people interacting. That was all one way. Coach to player, period.
Okay, we got time for maybe one more question over here, and then we're gonna change it up a little bit. Go ahead.
You can all think back where you did the assignments at school that you had to do something with the team. And the thought was that the team won. I got some people that were not A players. And so I did it myself. I could get the A in the assignment. But if I had to bring in these other people, it's going to be very difficult. And you can do that in small organizations, but in a large organization, you have to be able to bring people in and convey your message. And you've got challenges not only with coaches, but with players as well. Maybe can you talk about how you convey your message to your coaches, what you're looking for, how hands-on you are, how you delegate to make things happen and execute to become the team that you are now?
There's a lot there. There's a lot of stuff there. I mean, a lot of great points and a lot of different ways I can take that and answer that. But there's just always so darn much I want to tell my team. There's always so much I want to get up and stand up in front of them and tell them. I have a 10-minute rule on myself. I mean, I am not talking for more than 10 minutes in front of these guys. Because after that, they kind of just stay still. They don't hear it anymore. Your message gets stale. It's like overripe fruit or stale bread or burnt meat. So I never talk to them for more than 10 minutes. And I try to hit them in different areas, like on the field or at the hotel or in the meeting room but the best way I found, just to communicate with my team is individually, or at a table eating with them, as opposed to here's me talking to you guys, and people are going to hear this message differently. I don't know how they're hearing it. Just our own perceptions. We all hear things kind of the way we want to, or from our angle, or how we're thinking, or how it affects us. So most of those conversations, I still like to do just one-on-one or in passing, or pick out a guy on the field and talk to him before practice or after practice, and one a day if that's all I can get to. But always still try to work in group projects, even if it is a big organization or a big football team like the San Francisco 49ers. We do it as coaches. There's 3 guys going to get in a room and we're going to talk about the running game, and 3 other guys are going to be over here in the room. We're going to be talking about base passing game. And then later tonight, we're going to talk about third down and do it in group projects. I just think things get done better in group projects, where you can bounce things off of people, bat them around. Everybody can have their input, and it comes to a point where you got to make a decision on something where you'll be there all night. But that's the idea of one person, runs makes all the decisions. I just found that doesn't work. You know, there's no coach that is a combination of Albert Einstein, George Patton, you know, and Vince Lombardi. You know, there's no guy like that. There's a lot of guys who think they are, and they'll tell you, you know, how good they are, but you know, that person doesn't really exist. So I want to hear ideas. You know, somebody give me an idea, and it doesn't matter where it comes from, but the best idea wins. We're putting these ideas on the table, and the best one wins. And it's not about whose idea it was, but it's about the best idea wins. And if we can get 2 or 3 guys or 4 guys in a group project, you know, it's not the one guy getting burnt out. You know, he's got doing it in a group effort. I don't know if did that answer your question even close? Did I come close to answering? Okay. Well, do it as a team, you know. You do it as a team.
One final question here. This is a former Bear Cub linebacker there. Let's see what you got to say here.
I got a couple things to say. First of all, Coach Wagner, you're my favorite coach. I love you to death. A couple of similarities I see between the both of you guys is that, Coach Wagner, you have the type of dynamic where we want to go to war with you. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that, you know, your players, Jim, that they want to go to war with you. They'll do anything for you. So I see the similarity between the two of you guys. You know what I mean? You have that type of dynamic where people want to buy into your program and they're all in. You know what I mean? So, Jim, I'm still in fairly good shape. You know what I mean? Second of all, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, so Jim.
Ouch.
So loud. Anyways, like I asked you before, I just want you to take it easy on us week 1. Okay? If you just keep it short to like a 4-point loss with us, we'll be okay with it. Okay?
I think he wants you to win by 4. Is that what you meant, Ed?
Yes. Take it easy on us. Take it easy on us.
4-point win is he's always asking.
I'll be wearing black. I know we're going to lose. It's going to be a funeral for us. Another question for you, Jim, is how is your relationship with Pete Carroll? I mean, I know you guys kind of keep it PC. We're all adults here. We're all family.
There had to be one zinger, Coach.
Yeah, you know, it's somebody asked me this earlier. It's competition. It's football. It's winning. That's what it is. And I know he made some comments recently about how much he loves beating us. And there's really nothing more to add to that other than I would say, if you check the scores in the games played, you would see that it's been our teams that have had the greater share of enjoyment.
Coach, I think this is a perfect time to say thank you. And before the questions get any crazier than the last one, we just want to say thank you so much. And you guys, at this point in time, we're going to wrap this part up, but there's still some program left. And there's still a bar out there, and there's still silent auction items up here, and there's drink tickets. And we also, for those of you that have seen that 4-wheel drive vehicle out there in the patio, we are auctioning that item off. And we're only selling 250 tickets, and we'd love to send that thing home with somebody tonight. So our players are going to be walking through the crowd while we're enjoying some music, and hopefully some people get up and dance. We're going to have some great music coming up here in a second. But hopefully some of you will buy some of those tickets, and we'd love to send somebody home with that thing. So at this time, let's give one more round of applause.
Can I say one more thing?
Hold up, Coach.
I'd just like to say one more thing before I go, and I'm going to sign that ball before I go, but then I'm going to get home to to my family and kids, and then I'll get you that shirt, and it'll be game worn. It'll be right out of the closet. For you gentlemen who, yeah, it'll be washed. It'll be washed. I just want to thank everybody here again tonight. I don't get out much. My life is just coaching down at the 49ers, and it's going straight home to the family. But I appreciate I had a great feeling here tonight, and I appreciate how much you like our team, and in some cases love our team, and just being good, genuine, down to earth, good people. And I'm going to leave here feeling really good about myself because of you all tonight. And the other thing I wanted to say was, I'm here because of Brad Mustard, and that Brad asked me to be here. One of the other things that makes football so great is that you get together with a teammate, or in our case, it's been, 20 since 1993, so that's about 21 years, I guess. That's 21 years later. It is how great it is to see him again, and to see Vicky, and to see Kelly, and to see Bo. And appreciate you asking me here tonight. I'm 50 years old now. I'm 50 years old. It's a big number, but I've learned this, and I just really learned this recently, that a trusting, lasting friendship overcomes all things, and there's nothing like it. And you guys that are lucky enough to be on a team, be on a football team, or be in an organization, or be on a team. There's nothing greater than to be on a team and be a part of something that is striving to be great. You got this football team here. You got this organization. You got this school, and you can make it great. You can make it great. And there's nothing like it to be there's something about a human being that needs to be a part of a team, and you got a team here. You got something really good because you got a lot of good people, and you got a lot of good infrastructure. You got a lot of good leaders, and you can make it great. You guys got a chance to have friends that'll be lifelong, and you got a chance to build a trusting, lasting friendship with somebody that overcomes all things, and there's nothing more powerful than that. And I appreciate you all. I can tell you're wonderful, wonderful people. Thanks for having me.